Bobby, and in recent years would have her fur friend companion, Rudy, who would keep her company, especially after her devoted husband's death. Rudy, a Belgian shepherd, remained devoted to her as she took her last breath. Her young days were of mischievous ways, but because of her clever ways and smart wit, she avoided punishment. Famed musicians tutored Claire in music, leading Claire to play the piano and attend concerts that paved her way to love music, Bach and Mozart being her favorite composers. Claire's childhood was spent mostly in and around those that are older than she, and consequently, she matured early beyond her years. Claire discovered that all her experiences of her youth prepared her to meet later life challenges. Claire could point to her early maturity, her conversations with her elders, and her father's diplomatic attention to details as key ingredients of her own diplomatic and conversational style. Claire was inquisitive and filled with curiosity, which enticed her inquiries about knowing all of the details about a subject in which she was interested. This combination of relentless curiosity and the discipline to learn about something completely was part of what set Claire's passion to know and understand that came from her youthful experiences. Some place deep inside drove her to absorb, organize, and put into practice the values that were instilled in her from early on. Claire had developed an entrepreneurial early on, collecting and selling lemons for 1 cent in front of the family's home, and consistently combined helping others with her own family obligations. Whatever the circumstance, she was determined to make her life and the life of those around her better any way she could. Claire graduated from secretarial school in 1951 and started her career at Chase Manhattan Bank. And at that time, in banking, all monies were cleared by hand, giving Claire her accounting experience, counting monies, which had to balance to the exact penny. And if you knew Mom, she had to have the exact penny. Under stress, Claire quickly discovered that she could handle the work and that she had a real talent for multitasking and efficiency. Later, Claire worked at Air France, where she could work as a secretary, but much more. She handled personal correspondence, attended to customer service, learning the teletype, multitasking to better serve the passengers, even flying as a flight attendant. Working for Air France led her to an intimate knowledge of airlines and aircraft, giving Claire experience for managing the dizzying number of travel arrangements or sort out complicated import-export schedules for the family business. Claire's father instilled in her the ability to treat each person with respect and dignity, whatever their perceived station or notoriety in society, which Claire never forgot and represented throughout her lifetime. Claire's learning about the differences between the outside world versus the neighboring poor communities taught her the importance of charity and nurturing, while her many family and work experiences taught her the value of teamwork. Claire's father educated her of the importance of organizational schedules and time management, but she also knew that acceptance of what occurred outside the plan is key as well. She affirms, nothing is easy in life when it is new. But when your mind is made up to achieve a specific goal, trial by doing is never wasted effort, no matter what the outcome. Claire made many mistakes, but her work ethics, skills, experience, along with her quick adaptation, provided for future success. Hans and Claire met in 1955, little time to court, as Hans worked the split shift in the Swiss Chalet restaurant in San Juan. In the beginning, they were just good friends from two different worlds, being chaperoned, the unspoken rules of etiquette and social norms at that time. Living and being in a world that combined old world traditions with new world practices. But as Hans and Claire drifted together, they really established a bond through shared attitudes toward the real virtues and toward the solid practical efforts needed to build a life. They valued in each other the willingness to encourage and support each other. Nothing like the movies. Claire's favorites were Gone with the Wind and Casablanca. But if forced to pick a favorite, she would choose An Affair to Remember, starring Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr. Would she herself have something to remember one day? Or would she be left with mere memories of phrases from her girlhood, phrases like, Tu es bête, bête comme tes pieds. When her sister married, it is no surprise if Claire wondered what would happen to her own life's journey. But life, with all its trials and struggles, is better than a movie, and always reality and acceptance are greater truth. Claire knew well that love is an action, and that real love does not stay in the clouds, nor can it be truly expressed exclusively while in them. Even though they came from different backgrounds, Claire and Hans decided they had romantic feelings towards each other and decided to marry. And so, with very little time alone together, they drew towards each other through a common vision. But no matter how one regards it, the odds are staggering that they chose the perfect complement to each other with so little real knowledge. It took a kind of faith to move forward, and they were indeed made for each other, an unlikely couple. They had the courage to say to each other, "We're in this together." And so they began with a modest dime store wedding band. Hans and Claire would have 5 children: Eve Hans, Yvonne, Pierre, Paul, and Michelle. They all saw how much their mother, Claire, had worked and sacrificed for them, and always put family ahead of even the slightest, more personal need. This is a small yet significant advantage Claire and Hans nurtured in their life together. It has been said that no one could juggle chainsaws better than anyone. Not only Claire juggled chainsaws, but the whole time could manage her grace and dignity. Claire's strong Catholic faith helped her gather up the emotional resources to be available in so many circumstances and to so many people, her own children, and even being a second mom to many. Where there is faith, all will work out sooner or later. Claire's advice was, always be human, and this meant to always pay back in kindness. Claire's faith would indicate that indeed a guardian angel has been watching over them throughout her life and Hans's, as well as their children and children's children. Through Claire's consistent efforts to be the person she could be to everyone, she had been a guardian of the values and traditions she held sacred. Claire expressed it concisely and accurately as acceptance, which is a measure of grace. Claire's moral stamina and emotional strength were pivotal in her religion, family, friends, and business. She was a wonderful example of encouragement to all. She watched over and cared for many, which demonstrated a living witness of faith, her complete surrender to God, and her strong faith in her final days gave her solace to surrender to faith, knowing the angels would take her to a heavenly place. Whenever you think you can't continue, a light comes from somewhere. You press on and sing of sunshine and joy. Suddenly, your burden is lighter, and you are stronger, for you have courage and hope. I will let Father Yamil read what people have said about our wonderful Claire, our wonderful mom, and our wonderful Mima.
Many have described Claire's mom, Mima, as such. Mommy always had a love for flowers and for arrangements. Just as Mommy worked her magic with flowers, she could do the same with people. She made people better, happier, and healthful. They are sunshine, food, and medicine for the soul. Birds, God's messengers, and flowers, symbols of strength and purity, the perfect combination, like mom and flowers. The messenger chirps the word, cheer up, for I have overcome the world. This is what the red cardinals have come to say. It has come to give you happiness, even during a storm. In fact, a red cardinal visited Claire's garden before she took her last breath, a gift from God. God was talking to her,